Our favorite streaming service.
Yes. No matter what, Dropout will always be the number one streaming service in our heart.
I mean, just before we get into the actual thing we want to talk about from them, the way they raised prices.
Yeah,
That they
if you're
put
already
up.
paying this price, you're going to keep paying this price. If you just lock it in and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you can
And
as
they're
long as
so
you.
reasonably priced in the first place. Let's be
Oh
clear
yeah,
here.
it's so reasonably priced. Like they'll let you lock it in for the next 12 months, which I think ultimately after that 12 months you probably will end up on the new. But
You get
that's fair.
a year at the old
Yeah,
price.
and then also the amount that it's gone up is such a small amount. When he also mentioned that their budgets on all the shows have like tripled.
And you can see that in the
Yeah,
first episode of Game Changer,
yes,
hilariously.
but then it's like the the way that they announced it with Sam, and like we joke that Sam is like the only CEO that we actually love.
When the CEO downfall comes, I will be leading the charge. I can promise you that. Sam Reich, I can't guarantee him a pass. He will be given a very fair trial
I mean,
though.
him throwing the shade at all the other streaming services was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But yes, Game Changers is back. One of our favorite shows from Dropout.
It's a masterpiece. It is something that I genuinely don't believe can be beaten. Like in the game show genre, it is absolutely number one. There is
mhm.
nothing on its level. It's a
Yeah, that, and
masterpiece.
it's such a. I can't think. I can think of similar ideas, but not quite the same. Like I feel it's very unique for a game show idea of literally every episode is completely different.
Yeah, there's nothing like it in that regard. The
That,
closest you can maybe get is something like Taskmaster,
that's what I was thinking.
but
It's
even then, it's only different because it needs to be.
yeah,
Like
it,
it's not different in the
and it's
same
not,
way.
and it's yeah, it's just different challenges, not necessarily different complete premises for an episode.
Exactly.
But we've
I will
known.
say,
Well,
go on.
I was gonna say, going into the season, we know that every season's got bigger and more
Yes,
outlandish. Um, this might be up
I
there as my top two in my top three favorite Game Changer episodes.
I think it's got a real argument to be made about being episode number one. When you consider the premise, the execution,
My
it absolutely is up there. I do think nostalgia and monologues
well,
from other
my
episodes
only other
really.
one of like premise was my other two, just to put them out there, would be the escape room because
Masterpiece of an episode.
it was so that was the first one where like it you could tell it caught them off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other would be what the Sam says, but I kind of group them just as a collective because there's been three of them now. But like the
Sam
Sam
says is
says one,
phenomenal.
oh, I
But
agree.
I will give you that Escape the Green Room walked, so 1 year later could run.
Yes, I agree.
Um, but anyway, to get onto the concept of this
Mm,
episode,
sorry,
these three, the same three contestants, Vic, Lou,
Lou.
and Jacob,
Yep,
were on the last episode of the last season,
which was Sam
and
says
then
free.
yeah, and at the end of that episode, or sorry, the day after that episode, they were asked to come back.
Same day, I think.
No, they said it was the next morning. They were
Oh,
like, I
did they?
barely slept and I'm severely hungover. And they were given a dossier of 15 tasks that they had a year to complete.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal, instantly off the back.
Yep.
Especially when like you hear them like going through it as they're leaving. He's
Well,
like, "What do you mean you got to collect hair?"
well, they're like handed these things, and they're like you say, Lou's like, I'm been chugging coffee to try and sober up. Like they are still in. No, I do think it was the same day because they're still in the same outfits.
Yeah, no, I think they went out partying afterwards because it was the end of the season. So I think they were literally like been
Oh,
partying all night.
oh yeah, possibly then that, or it was like really late in the evening and they'd done this.
Hmm.
But they're reading through them as Sam walks home and goes, "You have 1 year to do these," and they're like, "Wait, what?" And they're just the comments like Jacob's just like, "You're sick. You're a sick man," and then the hair thing, and they're walking out, and then we cut to 1 year later.
Just it's so good. Some of these challenges were in and of themselves funny.
Hmm.
But the fact that you had a year to work on some of them allowed them to go to
Mm.
ridiculous extremes.
Mhm.
Like, Lou just went, I'm going balls to the wall on 10 challenges and like binning off 5 of them. Jacob just chose random. Like, Jacob, I think, put the most even amount of effort in.
I would agree.
And then Vic was just like, I'm going to fuck with Sam in ways
Well,
he couldn't even dream
Vic,
of.
Vic does what Vic always does, which is, I'm going to find the loophole angle at this question that makes Sam question, is this allowed?
My favourite was the Craigslist round. You've got like Lou, I got a jet ski, and then
Yeah.
you've got Jacob, I got a bike, and then Lou's like, but what about second jet
2
ski?
jet skis.
Phenomenal. And then Vic's just like, I own your house now.
Yeah, I had the deed to your house, and then Sam looks and he's like, "You forged my signature." It's like, this is clearly a very illegal thing that she's just done, which is obviously probably in partnership with his wife.
And his wife was clearly involved in so much of this.
Yeah, the fucking the one of them, the challenge which was
The candid cab right at the end. Yeah,
best candid of Sam, and the three of them go play the footage, and it's a camera had been hidden in his home for several months, and
it was like 6 months based on the timestamps by the look of it.
Any normal situation, that is a police report and a lawsuit. Because Sam knows these people, it's still creepy, but also fucking hilarious that he didn't notice.
He's kind of brought it on himself, is the beauty of it. But I saw someone online talking about it, and this episode fundamentally changes Game Changer.
I saw this as well, and
because previously we, as the viewer, didn't need to worry about anything, right? We would go into an episode, we would find out the premise of the episode about the same time as the contestant, sometimes earlier, and then we just get to laugh at the people who are being played with by Sam Reich.
Yeah.
But now, every time a cast member does something weirder than normal, there's going to be a part of our brain that's just like, is this a game changer?
So basically, it was like, we would, our first experience of anything from Game Changers was, we saw the episode and we're like, oh, how Sam fucked with them. And we know that the contestants have probably gone through that year being like, Sam's on set today. Is this a Game Changers thing? Like, there's an episode of Brennan's D&D little talk, podcasty thing.
Adventure Pot, is it?
Yes, I think so. And he had Sam on, and at one point Sam was like, I've organised something to do on this episode. I've got almonds, and then Brennan's like, this isn't changing into an episode of Game Changers, is it? Like, he thought he'd commandeered his own show. But like you say, now, in this episode, and for this year, one of the challenges was get a SoundCloud profile with the most followers. Lou started his own band for this challenge, but then ultimately became so fucking popular with his fans that they actually just became a band for the year and have put out an album. The guy that they got to mix the album didn't know that this was, he was like, oh, it's been great. I got to work on their album this year. It's still great. Didn't know that it all stemmed from a Game Changer challenge.
People will have gone to see that Vic play.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, Vic's on Dropout. She's hilarious. Let's go see what wacky shit she's doing. And now they've watched and they're like, okay, this was fucking weird, but we knew this. It was Vic. What did we expect?
Merch.
And then they see this episode of Game Changer and they're like, wait, I was fucking at that. Like, yeah, the merch. Fucking insanity.
I loved that Vic was like, we shut this off at 3 hours, clearly thinking she's lost. And then she's
battered
the most by a mile.
Well, they sell a lot of pins on a Dropout.
Well, and it was also, you can remember, it was for a giveaway. So, people, if it's an entrance into a giveaway, those sorts of things sell in the masses. Yeah, it's flipped it now that anything we see throughout the year that is
out of character even a little bit,
or something that we're like, oh, Lou's doing a stand-up show, is that for Game Changers?
Yeah, there is an absolute element of we can't trust anything we see from the Dropout cast anymore, because what if we're being fucked with by Sam Reich inadvertently?
Yeah, which I love because that adds to the game changer thing.
Absolutely.
Do you know what was funny though? The whole way through, because obviously, like we said at the beginning, this is the same three people right after they'd filmed Sam Says Free. There was a part of me because Luz was in Sam Says 1 and 3, Jacob was in 2 and 3, and Vic was in 3. So they all three of them have been in, other than Vic, had almost been in multiple episodes of Sam Says. I was so ready for that final moment before they flipped it on Sam himself for Sam to go, now these have all been great submissions. And Lou, you're winning on points. But I'm afraid I'm going to take all those points off you all because I never said Sam Says. And like,
That would have been
if he'd flipped it and they'd done all that for a year and then they were like, I never said Sam Says, so none of these count, they would have lost their mind. Like, it would have been evil, but it would have been great. But I do think there's going to be a Sam Says 4 in this season.
I'm genuinely concerned because Brennan's done some podcasts, he's always on podcasts, and he's spoken about this season's a bit fucky. I want to know, like, if this is how we're starting the season, what the fuck did Sam do to Brennan this time? Like, there are rumours that apparently Brennan doesn't let the green room door close while he's in there anymore. While he's in there, that door is not allowed to close.
I also want to know if Brennan now, if he's just like in the shower and has a monologue thought, does he write them down in preparation?
Just in case.
Does he just do that thing where like he's just constantly brainstorming monologues because he's like, maybe today's the day I get screwed over by Sam and I need to be ready to hit back.
It's just, there must be a genuine fear, especially after other people heard about like the green room episode, because that was the first one that really pushed the envelope like to an insane level.
That come on that know.
Yeah. Like, are you just worried now? Like, you've been told during a game changer episode next week, because they'll be told that's what they're on the call sheet for most of the time. Are you just in your shower that morning just checking for hidden cameras? Like, is it already started? Is he already here?
I'd have been on edge. Like, if they're like, oh yeah, so we're going to be shooting Game Changers these few months. And
you just don't sleep well for them months.
But it's like, oh, Brennan, you're going to be like, and they probably have an idea of who they want in for the season, like on each episode already. So they probably already like telling people in advance for scheduling and stuff. As soon as you get that call, if that was me, I'm like, okay, everything from now on, I am over analyzing. Who's this Uber driver that just picked me up? Who's this like person that's like, I wouldn't trust anything.
Insanity.
I am intrigued brilliant to see, because we know Sam loves fucking with Brennan. Like, we've had like Brennan can't be right. Mill. Yeah, we've had the points for coming second. Like, how is he going to? Because there's going to be an episode with Brennan on. It's like, what is the premise that is really fucking with him?
Gonna jibe at him.
I will say also in this one, I loved when Jacob at one point was like, haha, I've turned into the rich CEO man. Just like completely flipped and played into the
Did you obviously, like, we're in the gaming sphere and we pay attention, so we know how insane Nvidia stock has been over the last 18 months.
Yes, he said
when
Nvidia,
he
I was like,
said,
oh my god.
I did a little bit of research, have a look. I was like, and there's this company known as Nvidia, and Sam's face did what mine and your face did, and I went, Nvidia hit like $1 trillion valuation this year. Please tell me he put money in and got money out at the right time.
I was like, oh my god, he's won. And then I love Jacob. Jacob was one of my favorite ones. And I mean, I love Lou and stuff, but like, something that added to that was when he got the points and he went, can I just confirm that I got the most, I've won that, and those points are locked in? And Sam's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, now that I've got the points and I know that, I'm going to donate the winnings. Like, such a great thing to do. Like,
I've got a lot of love for Jacob Wysocki. He is absolute comedy. I've recently discovered he was in Pitch Perfect as well, the first one, which always fucks me up. So funny when I discovered that. When I discovered that, I literally went back to find the scenes, be like, wait, is that actually him? Brilliant. Lou's outfit, like from the first round with the outfits, I was like, oh shit, they've had so much time.
Well, it's like the watch from Lou's watch, I was like, oh,
Gorgeous. You could sell them and make
yeah.
money.
He started with the watch. I was like, oh, that's so big brain and
Awesome.
creative. Like that's such a cool thing to make. And then he rips off his clothes and he's like, this is the present. And I was like, what a man. What a man to just be like, fuck it. And then he does the augmented clothing, which obviously we've seen crop up over the last year or so.
But so funny. That episode was great. The challenges were great. The ingenuity from each of the 3 contestants to try new things and the different approaches was phenomenal. Some of the weird shit they managed to make happen from like their connections.
Yeah.
Like managing to get the fucking cardboard cutout sent all the way to Antarctica is objectively hilarious.
Purely
And
because
then
they
you've got
met
Jacob
someone at a
losing
show.
his mind because he's like, I've got to have won this. I went to the middle of fucking nowhere and sent you down to the depths of hell.
Do you know what's funny? When he was like, oh, and there's this ghost town, mining town, and there's one guy that lives there. I was like, I know what the fucking town this is because I remember on YouTube once recommended, I bought a ghost town in the fucking middle of LA nowhere or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is going to be that guy. And it was. But yeah, the chance of having someone at a show who's from the Antarctic, like is a chef at an Antarctic base, and then he's like, oh, can I send something to you? Just like fucking wild.
This episode proved in a multitude of ways that people are fucking awesome. Because the notion of someone going, can I just like send you a cardboard cutout and you can stick it somewhere up there? And they're like, absolutely send it right now.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. I love the idea as well that he was on Jimmy Kimmel working. All the celebrities, and he just panicked every time.
I mean, fair. Like, you don't want to be that guy on the show, do you? When
But
he's
like,
just the
Dropout's
voice.
got big enough now that some of the celebrities on that are probably aware of it.
Yeah, but you just don't, like, I can understand from Lou's point of view, you don't want to be that guy, like, you are part of the show, a celebrity comes in, you don't want to be like, can I have a selfie with you? Like, yeah, you don't want to be that guy, do you? But yeah, he could have had anyone if he had managed to play that.
So good. Brilliant episode. I will never stop recommending Dropout. It is the best value proposition of any streaming service. If you enjoy D&D, they've got D&D stuff. Gastronauts, me and Jenna recently watched the first episode. That's really good.
I've watched a couple
Food-based show. I'm actually fucking brilliant. I'm actually is something that I need to properly binge the fuck out of because it is such a me kind of show. Brilliant. So happy to have Game Changer back, and I can't wait to see what other fuckery Sam Reich has ready for us for the rest of the season.
Same.